the end of June 2024, and 6 months ago I just returned from Cape Town, South Africa with my new Casimi guitar. Living with this instrument for 6 months has been an extraordinary experience already, and I wanted to share some of my thoughts with you. First of all, thank you very much to everyone who's watched the videos that I've made with the guitar so far, and your comments have been really insightful. You're quite right, even in this short time, the voice of this guitar has developed extensively. You may have seen the video where I played the first notes on this instrument. Well, first of all, I have to say, I was quite nervous. There was a massive element of anticipation and excitement, and that transformed into genuine astonishment as I started to feel my way through the first notes. I mean, you can see it in my face, it says it all. That video is recorded in the Casimi Guitars workshop, which is a big space with lots of reflective surfaces, so I mic'd it pretty close up, and you can still hear a lot of the character of what at the time was a very new instrument. The first thing that struck me was just how responsive it was, and by that I mean that the tiniest touch would bring out a full, rich voice, and that was immediately very inspiring. There was a slightly glassy character to it, which is common with new instruments, and I felt at the time that I could sense almost a slight delay between the attack of the note and the instrument sort of breathing, rising up to meet it. That is now gone. There is no delay whatsoever. The whole thing just sings. From the playability point of view, this guitar is wonderful. It's incredibly comfortable, plays beautifully. I was a little concerned. I was going to play a debut concert in the workshop with a brand new instrument. You never know quite how that sort of thing is going to go. I played for an hour. I could have played for 4 or 5. It felt just so good. Having no cutaway at all has been interesting. I have felt the edge of the guitar on my hand here, whereas before I wouldn't, but there's such a scoop in the neck that access itself is not an issue. Absolutely love the bevels. And also the lack of a volute on the back of the neck, which Jason Costel has on his guitars. I hadn't realised just how dependent I'd become on that, and I often found my left hand sliding past the nut here on occasion. What I am really enjoying is the tiny little tuner that Matthias has hidden in the sound hole that I can see through the sound port. One thing that I have found challenging is talking about this guitar with other people when they ask me, what's it like? I've been talking about guitars for nearly 2 decades now, and I have a vocabulary and a certain data set of experience and ways of expressing certain things about the voice of an instrument and what it feels like to play one. And yet when I'm asked, what's this like? I start to stammer. I can't really describe it. It's unlike anything that I have experienced before, and that includes other guitars by Casimi. There's a richness and an immediacy to the voice, and a much wider timbral spectrum than I've ever experienced. In many ways, I could compare playing this guitar to perhaps the more advanced levels of language learning, particularly subjunctive clauses, which are often more expressive and more beautiful. In Spanish, quiero becomes quisiera. In Greek, θέλω becomes θα ήθελα. And I am learning new ways of communicating with this guitar. There are subtleties, nuances available to me as a player now, which are incredibly inspiring. And part of the experience has been finding some of these things by accident and then learning how to recreate them. There's so much rich potential to explore just through right hand position and the angle of attack. What I'm now experiencing is a level of choice as to how I express every part of the music that I'm playing that I've never had before. And that, to begin with, was quite intimidating and has become more and more a challenge that I relish. I've been very fortunate to study with some extraordinary guitarists over my lifetime. John Remborn, Pierre Bensusan, Isaac Guillory, guys like that. But I've learnt just as much from milestone guitars that I've encountered along the way. And this instrument feels like it has a lot to teach me already. And that's a very beautiful thing. I'm incredibly grateful to Matthew Rice and Matthias Rue for the huge amount of love and expertise and artistry that went into the creation of this instrument. They've been familiar with my playing for many years, and as such we had a lot of shared experience to go on. And what Casimi Guitars have achieved here is to create a guitar not just for me now, but for the player I would like to become. And that is very inspiring. If you've enjoyed this video, please do subscribe to support my channel. Drop me a like and tell me about your favourite luthier-made guitar. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay tuned.